If you own a website, but you're not using Google Search Console, you're missing one of the most powerful free SEO tools available. Imagine being able to see exactly how many people found your website on Google, which keywords they're searching, which pages are getting the most clicks, which pages Google can't index, and even receive warnings when something is wrong with your site. That's exactly what Google Search Console does. In this complete beginner's guide, I'll walk you through everything you need to know, from setting it up to using it like a pro.
Welcome back to TrendMeek. If you're a blogger, website owner, or just getting started with SEO, this video is one you don't want to skip. I'll explain every important feature in simple English, so even if you've never opened Search Console before, you'll understand what each section does and how it can help your website grow. Many beginners confuse Google Search Console with Google Analytics. Although both are free Google tools, they serve different purposes. Think of it this way. Google Search Console tells you how people find your website through Google Search. Google Analytics tells you what visitors do after they arrive on your website. Search Console focuses on your website's visibility in Google Search. It answers questions like, is Google indexing my pages? Which keywords bring visitors? Which pages get the most clicks? Are there any technical problems stopping my site from appearing in search? Without Search Console, you're almost guessing how Google sees your website. With it, you get data directly from Google. That's why almost every successful website owner uses it. Before Search Console can show your data, Google needs to confirm that you actually own the website. This process is called verification. There are several verification methods, including HTML file upload, HTML meta tag, Google Analytics, Google Tag Manager, DNS record. For most beginners, especially those using WordPress, DNS verification is usually the best option because it verifies your entire domain rather than just one version of your website. If you're using Cloudflare or your domain registrar to manage DNS, you'll copy a TXT record from Google and paste it into your DNS settings. After the record propagates, click Verify in Search Console. Once verified, Google begins collecting data about your website. If your site is brand new, don't expect reports to fill immediately. It can take some time before enough data is available.
The Search Console dashboard may look overwhelming at first, but you don't need to master every report on day one. Start by understanding the 4 numbers in the performance report. Total clicks. This is how many times people clicked your website from Google search results. A click means someone actually visited your site. Total impressions. An impression is counted when one of your pages appears in Google search results, even if nobody clicks it. If impressions are increasing but clicks remain low, your pages are being shown, but your title or thumbnail, in search this usually means the title and meta description, may not be convincing enough. Average CTR. CTR stands for click-through rate. It tells you what percentage of impressions became clicks. For example, if your page appears 1,000 times and gets 50 clicks, your CTR is 5%. A low CTR isn't always bad. Ranking position, search intent, and competition all affect it. But improving titles and descriptions can often help. Average position. This shows the average ranking of your pages across searches. If your average position is 8, you're generally appearing on the first page. If it's 45, most people are unlikely to see your page without scrolling through several pages of results. Don't obsess over this number. Use it as a trend to see whether your content is improving over time. Now, let's look at one of the most important tools in Google Search Console, the URL inspection tool. Whenever you publish a new blog post or update an existing page, this is usually the first place you should check. Simply paste the full URL into the search bar at the top of Search Console. Google will inspect that page and tell you whether it's indexed or not. If the page is already indexed, you'll see a message confirming that it's in Google's index. That's great. It means Google knows about the page. If it isn't indexed yet, don't panic. Search Console usually explains why. Sometimes the page is simply new and hasn't been crawled yet. Other times, there might be a technical issue, such as a redirect problem or a page blocked from indexing. If everything looks fine, click Request Indexing. This sends a request asking Google to crawl the page. It doesn't guarantee immediate indexing, but it often helps Google discover new content sooner. Another important feature is Pages under the Indexing section. This report gives you an overview of which pages are indexed and which aren't. If you notice several important pages are excluded, click into the report and read the reason before making changes. Don't assume every excluded page is a problem. Some pages, like admin or login pages, are intentionally not indexed. Now let's talk about sitemaps. A sitemap is like a roadmap for your website. It tells Google which pages exist and helps search engines discover new content more efficiently. If you're using WordPress with an SEO plugin, your sitemap is often created automatically. In Search Console, open the Sitemaps section. Enter your sitemap URL, usually something like yourdomain.com/sitemap.xml, and submit it. You normally only need to do this once unless your sitemap changes. Remember, a sitemap doesn't force Google to index every.
One of my favorite reports in Search Console is the Performance Report, because it tells you exactly how your website is performing in Google search. You can see the keywords people use to find your website, the pages getting the most traffic, the countries your visitors are coming from, and even whether they're using mobile phones or desktop computers. Let's say one of your blog posts is getting thousands of impressions, but only a handful of clicks. That's usually a sign that your title or meta description isn't convincing enough. Instead of rewriting the entire article, you might get better results by improving the headline and making it more appealing. On the other hand, if a page is receiving plenty of clicks, ask yourself why it's working. Can you create more content on similar topics? Can you update that article with fresh information? Your best performing pages often give you ideas for future videos and blog posts. You'll also notice the Core Web Vitals report. This measures how well your website performs for real users. It looks at things like loading speed, visual stability, and responsiveness. You don't need to obsess over getting perfect scores. The goal is to provide a fast, smooth experience. Compress large images, avoid unnecessary plugins, and choose reliable hosting. A faster website generally creates a better experience for visitors, and that's exactly what Google wants.
Before we finish, let me share some of the biggest mistakes beginners make with Google Search Console. The first mistake is checking statistics every few hours. SEO takes time. Your rankings won't change dramatically overnight, so don't panic if today's numbers look different from yesterday's. The second mistake is ignoring warnings without understanding them. Whenever Search Console reports an issue, click on it and read the explanation carefully. Not every warning requires immediate action, and making random changes can sometimes create new problems. The third mistake is requesting indexing every time you change a single sentence. If you've made a meaningful update or published a new page, requesting indexing makes sense. But constantly requesting indexing after tiny edits isn't necessary. So, what should your routine look like? Spend about 5 minutes in Search Console each day. Start by checking the performance report. Look for pages gaining impressions and clicks. Next, check the Pages report to make sure there aren't any unexpected indexing issues. Finally, inspect any new articles you've published and request indexing if needed. That's it. You don't need to spend hours inside Search Console every day. A few minutes of reviewing your data consistently will teach you far more than constantly chasing SEO tricks. Google Search Console isn't a tool that magically improves rankings. It's a tool that helps you understand how Google sees your website. The better you understand that information, the better decisions you'll make about your content. If you found this tutorial helpful, subscribe to TrendMeek for more practical guides on blogging, SEO, AI tools, and growing websites. Thanks for watching,
and I'll see you in the next